On the last video...
Shots rifle!
Oh! Today we continue our Road to Diamond series, and whilst you might think that it would involve a lot of this... Okay, well it does, but it also involves a lot of this. But today, something was off with my aim, and as my name is Ragtag, the greatest gutter-tier gamer on the face of this earth, this is nothing unusual, but still incredibly frustrating nonetheless. For as I manoeuvred across the harsh terrain of World's Edge in Platinum 4, I was about to discover that this rank does not forgive your 11 damage glancing blows, and it also doesn't forgive scouting the next zone with a jump pad while you're low HP.
I need to use this.
And while you can recover from some of these unfortunate mistakes, once you get to Platinum, you must approach every situation with ultimate precision and impeccable timing. So now's a good time to tell you that my mother brought me up to never leave the front door open.
Use this Phoenix kit. We got another squad.
Oh my god. My bad. Oh no. Okay, I think we're getting ahead of ourselves here because we've missed the part where I ranked up to Plat 4 and, well, let's just say it wasn't pretty, but it never is on this channel, so let's rewind to the bit with me getting carried out, multiple bouts of assistance from my teammates. But first, you ever heard of Raid Shadow Legends, the dominating mobile game that you can cross-play on PC? The reason it dominates is because this turn-based RPG has amazing graphics, crazy fun challenges, a PvP arena, and unforgettable boss fights. So the great thing about Raid is that you choose your champions with over 600 to collect, so let me show you a couple of my most wanted heroes on my list. First up is Turvold, and if you're looking at that sword thinking it probably does an otherworldly amount of damage, you'd be right. I badly want this guy in my clan boss team as he's one of the hardest hitters in the game. Next up is Robar of the Orcs, and I think he looks like a fantastical brute. I just want to put him in my arena team because he gets an extra turn every time he stuns an enemy. If you want to get the best from Raid, smash through the campaign and take on the dungeons, but remember, just because something looks impressive, there's always a way to take it down, and sometimes it's simpler than you might think. On top of the huge amount of content, there's events and tournaments every day, as well as a fresh rotation of the brutal Hydra boss. But there's Valentine's Events Day coming where you can get a brand new champion, so why not get started right now by using my link in the description or scan the QR code right here. New players will get a free starter pack worth close to $30, and in it you'll get one of my favourite champions for clearing dungeons, Tyrell. 200,000 silver, 1 XP boost, 1 energy refill, and 1 ancient shard so you can summon a champion straight away. You will find your rewards here in your inbox for the next 30 days only. The tranquil aura emanating from the tree did not lessen my need to hastily loot as much as possible from this zone, but after failing to call dibs on a barrel stabilizer for the card SMG, I stubbornly sniffed around on the ground like a hungry aardvark until finally snapping up the level 3 attachment, only to realise that my teammates had spotted an incoming resurrection. An unmissable opportunity for easy ranked points, but as is always the case for me, perfectly missable after all. However, resurrection aircraft to a respawn beacon is like ringing the dinner bell for hungry mouths, so I still had a good chance to get involved. As Octane spotted more enemies, I swapped out the Havoc for a Volt, running 2 SMGs and IQ 9000 strategy, but it was enough to handle these noobs across the way with their cowardly fences. Okay, they had some skill. But once we went up to take a second look, arrows and bullets began whizzing by my ears, and my Volt's response caused fear inside the soul of every earthworm wriggling under the surface, probably from laughter to be fair, but ammo was in short supply, so a sightseeing tour over the lava might provide us with some extra loot. But it turned out there was an enemy team who wanted to open a gift shop from our death boxes, and given their approach, they might actually manage it. I felt like someone had just yelled "Pool" as I was shot out the air like a helpless clay pigeon, but while Octane and I met our demise, the good news was that Horizon was still alive, mainly because they never joined the fight in the first place. Perhaps a spot of amnesia, who knows, but it turned out to be the right call, as we'd probably have gotten destroyed if we were all together there, and the rescue mission was a success. back in the game, but with a round 2 red ring of death closing behind us, we had to move and move quickly. Just in case I fancied emptying more bullets into thin air, I had another Volt. But once we were safely on the other side, I wondered if we could replace the Sentinel with something from the care package. A thought that was soon replaced with the return of that team that had previously just wrecked us, and they aggressively landed right on our heads. But this time, all 3 of our team were present for the battle. Less than a minute to go before the zone would force us to move again, and once more, we were on the edge. Badly needing to reposition, now would be a horrible time for another battle. Thank goodness Valkyrie can fly, but we'd need to go Mach 3 to survive the next round because combat plus ring damage, that is not happening this time.
Alert 5, looking for shields. Go for burn. Make shade upright.
Round 4. The heat was building towards Thermal Station, and the one thing you never want to see is a team creating their lava condos with the best views left in this volatile zone. But that's exactly what we got.
Portal over there. Bogey over there. Wings out. Let's go here.
Feeling completely helpless, I sat and wondered how we could possibly compete with a squad who could just pick us off whenever they felt like it. And as 4 squads became 3, we now had to think about how to emerge the victors. So as soon as we heard the last 2 teams exchange a few shots, I had an ingenious idea. Let's jump in their heads. Oh, and good luck, because we're probably gonna die here. Instant regret trying to use a grenade next to Watson's shield generator. Stupid spinning running and crash! Okay, that was dreadful, but the ring was about to close, and now I had the high ground. I had the prime position. I just needed not to mess this up. I didn't think I'd lose that, but there you go. But it wasn't over yet, still 2v2. An unfortunate ultimate from Horizon hit the outside wall. Octane stayed up while Horizon went down. And then, Octane went down. Oh, I've done this before. You go for a shield swap and then end up with your teammate's banner in your hands, but then Horizon decided to try again. Not great. You need another shield, pal. Better. Empty! Victory! So that catches us up to the present moment where Gold 1 became Plat 4 and the madness could now continue, and the first game in Platinum showed me exactly what to expect for the rest of this season. Swooping into Skyhook, I readied myself the best I could, and by the time I picked out the car SMG to accompany the Mastiff, the hunt for enemies could begin. And when Loba opened the proverbial doors to the black market, enemies found me.
Taking fire.
I wanted to push, but my teammates held fast, so I used the best gap closer in my backpack.
Firing. Toss and frag. Taking fire. Need an arc star. Reloading. Fox 3. Firing missile.
Reloading. Down one. Still one enemy left and we'd be showing them the meaning of a merciless death. But this Octane still had one trick up his sleeve. A good arc star clipped my wings, but not before I soared to safety, and our Octane ended this pretender with ease. For some reason it seemed like a good idea to take the vault again, further proof that I simply never learn, but as we tried to loot up further, footsteps were heard converging on our location, and while Loba had Overwatch with the charge rifle, that would be of limited use if we ever fought inside. Trying to keep enemies in the crosshair of our sniper proved difficult because players in this rank, they just seemed smarter, and then in came another team. Octane committed and he needed my help. I could only hope Loba would join us, and she did. Felt the pressure of the more skilled opponents, and did you know that on a keyboard the E and the R, they're right next to each other? I say this because my ability is bound to E and reload is bound to R. I pressed E, but the plan was simple: grab one banner, get to the roof and use my ultimate. They'll expect me to take the door, but I won't. I'm going round the corner instead. Straight to my doom. But that didn't shake the confidence of the Gatatia. No, it would take a lot more than that. With me as the jump master, we chose Thermal Station, but right at the far end, to get time to loot and a chance to play this match a little bit slower. But we weren't the only ones with this plan. Looked like all this Bangalore had was a charge rifle, so I rushed them before they could pick up another weapon.
Wings out. Boss 3 firing missiles.
Just a Pathfinder left. They blasted a hole in our Wraith.
Wings up.
I cautiously made my way towards the main station, and it looked like the supply bins had been opened. And then...
Bogey squad through there. Recharging shield. Help, down.
I guess bullets go around corners now, but that didn't matter because this team were now sprinting towards us, and our Caustic, well, he didn't seem to care.
Eddie, you are fortunate we are on the same team.
Over the next few games, I felt my aim improving. But the results? I had become locked in a battle with my mind, and my spirit started to break under the weight of negative thought. Suddenly, it occurred to me why I have never escaped Platinum, and the reason was simple. Endurance, willpower, but most of all, confidence. I didn't have any of those. Mine was in pieces, and I was limping around World's Edge, directionless, lost, alone. And it always ended the same way. Until one game, I found myself in Skyhook. Nothing unusual about it, but I could feel fear building inside me again. After all, here I am making videos about some glorious ascent when we've already hit a brick wall on Plat 4. But instinct took over when I heard the platform shift in countdown. The zone next door. Fear or not, I was here to compete, but Wraith had sights on completing Bloodhound's trials. A risky, conspicuous way to grab the map's attention, but we couldn't fight here unless we were united. Eventually, I let the team know what had to be done. What? Let's fight. And we took to the skies.
Need to recharge my shield.
Heard that?
Wings up.
As usual, I took the high ground, but Wraith overshot it and ended up right into the lion's den. We did our best, but the Void would have to save her now. Then our Gibraltar landed a solid thermite and decided to take no prisoners. I had to get involved here.
Wings out. I'm here, so let's get you.
An impressive showing from our Gibraltar, almost single-handedly putting a whole team down, and I found myself inspired by his presence, wondering if his decisiveness could motivate me to pull myself together, because hesitation can get your entire squad wiped if you're not careful. But if you lose enough games in Platinum rank, especially right at the start, you'll be seeing minus 36 RP go down the drain game after game after game, and this is where I was at, on the verge of a crisis of confidence. The crackling red lightning above World's Edge seemed fitting for the turmoil below in the staging area.
Enemy over there.
Nobody panic, but we got bandits out there.
Hostile over there. Opening.
Taking fire.
Old Valk, Gibby demanded, and the old ragtag would have fired up the burners in an instant and landed on anyone's head at a moment's notice, but I needed to prove myself that I could get positive RP at least once, otherwise Plat 3, well, that would be the impossible dream, never mind Diamond.
Wings out.
Killed an enemy.
Contact. Recharging my shield.
There was a lot going on here, but our squad held position and let the pawns take care of business on the chessboard.
In the skies.
Reloading.
Taking fire, boss. First around.
When the time was right, Gibraltar stepped in and cleaned
Wings
up.
up. Fox 3 launching missiles.
Don't ever shoot your ace.
Reloading.
Opening fire.
10 seconds and the ring's just ahead.
I decided to remind myself to uninstall this game, but I probably should not have put that sticky note right in the middle of my monitor where the crosshair goes, but there you are, won't affect the gameplay now, will it? Round 2 began to close, but just as we were leaving, Wraith's whispery voices from the void told her a tale about a sneaky survivor.
Wings out.
Take the high ground, Ragtag, it's such a good idea, you'll be safe up there.
Taking fire, brothers.
Contact with hostile.
Reload.
This was absolutely pathetic. I was scared of a 3v1 and now my testosterone was leaking out all over the place like discharged jet fuel. Come on! The ring was once again closing around Thermal Station and I was sick of being the last man to every fight. What kind of coward follows Gibraltar around like a newborn giraffe, struggling to stand on his little dinky legs and hiding in the shadow of the superior teammate? This had to change and it had to be now.
Reloading. Got one. Bogey closing.
Watch yourself.
Oh no. Alright, no.
Trash, trash, trash. I'm nothing but a useless bag of trash. And don't forget that I'm useless trash.
But my teammates were inspired by my push and even protected my retreat by lunging into the thick of battle.
Down an enemy. Contact. Another enemy down.
Last one down. Hey, drop. Show us some colorful my brothers.
Round 3 about to close, except this time we were somewhere you definitely don't want to be. In the tunnel, having to scuttle to the station because we were about to become the easiest targets in the game.
Fire.
Care package. I love them.
Charge. We can scan this area.
Good this way.
We had to take to the skies. Gibraltar protected our escape, but it was too late.
Reloading.
Okay, yes, I fat-fingered my ultimate, and now I just doomed our squad.
Champion just fell.
Sorry about that, Gibby. What can I say? How does that song go again?
Trash, trash, trash.
Ah, yes, that's right. But the ring hadn't closed over the main lava condo tower, which meant that we had some ground to cover and 3 other squads to eliminate.
Alert 5, ground station here. Main engine burned. The captain's turned out with no seatbelt sign. You're free to back it off in all lands. Under fire.
Taking fire, Ross.
Bangalore's teammates wouldn't be happy with that result, and the rest of the action was outside. I'd swapped to the alternator to accompany the boomstick of the Peacekeeper, and we were now in very good
Wings
shape.
up. Fox 3, sending it home.
Follow the tunnel.
Hostile close.
Hostile
Got a
fire.
bandit. Wings out.
Reloading. There's another squad. Heads up.
Now with only 2 other squads left, one was the cheeky fence campers and the other had made their way behind us.
Fox 3, I got radar lock. We got another squad extending to engage.
There was only one option.
Give me my shield to recharge.
We can cruise over here. Alert 5, Valkyrie actual. Ready for burn. How copy?
Shield up.
Ring. Burn is good. Looking for more. Slash 1, bogey down.
Finish the squad. Calling the air.
Gibraltar's airstrike bounced off Watson's whirligig generator, and that team bunkered in for a difficult fight.
Far, but we should hustle, guys.
Fox 3, missile off the rails.
Going.
Wraith went for the portal flank. Gibraltar didn't care, and I just wanted to throw as many grenades as possible into a team that now had no shield generator.
Taking fire.
Getting shot at.
Eat a thermite grenade.
Taking fire, Ross.
Hostile right here.
Shield up.
Another full send from Gibby. I respected it.
Enemy out.
Okay, well, this victory felt like a one-sided carry from my teammate, and while I know I could have done better, I made the big mistake of carrying all my baggage from those losses firmly on my shoulders, and the only way to release it was to try a new experiment before my next ranked game, and this experiment, I would like to call it the Imperial Hal, because he's one of my favourite pro streamers, and he's got a habit of saying to his friends, let's kill these idiots. I like it. Treat other people as you treat yourself. Let's do it. My teammates were locked in a furious battle of their own, and I was left to deal with this squad by myself and the hull of gas to fight through.
Wings up. Wings out. Yeah!
If I was Captain America, perhaps I would say that I could do this all day. But no, I'm Captain Scotland. We can do afternoons and every other weekend with a break for potato scones and a can of iron brew. My monitor was close to receiving another flying lesson from the second floor window of my apartment, and I've said it before and I'll say it again, unless I'm playing him, delete Caustic! And Stinky Poo Poo Gasman's final gift to the world was beating me to my knees, and I just had to hope that my teammates felt me worthy of a revival. Wraith reluctantly agreed and left the battle to pick me up.
This won't hurt.
But before I could gather ammo and heal, down she went. But I didn't care about the odds anymore. I needed to keep it going and push W at all costs. My recalibration was complete and I found myself entering a zone, and in that zone was the knowledge that I could win any fight if I was brave enough and remembered my lessons from before. Last time they kicked in that door, I turned my back on my enemy, got drilled. Not this time, pal!
Reloading. Got one. Enemy down. Recharging shields.
I was beginning to believe. Seven squads left already. I was feeling this balance within, like I could 1v3 any team on this map, and then when I spotted some jokers going up and down that cannon in the open, I knew they were taunting us for a fight and that they might even have some skill, but I didn't care.
Oh, go for bird. As a reminder, this is a taking fire.
Ow. Getting sniped mid-flight, now I knew that they might be good, and I knew that only swift movement and item management would get me through this. A Rev ultimate push. I had the rooftop to cut down anyone trying to come up, but Wraith stayed inside, and...
Contact with target.
Wings out.
Reloading the old box. I'm taking fire.
Charging up my shields.
Charging my shields.
Need to recharge my shield.
Charging up my shields.
Enemy here. Look beyond their veil.
Slash.
Shields are recharging. Enemy here. Knock down.
This battle was the true test, and while I was hurting here, I couldn't let these enemies revive, or it was over. The game might have been over here, but now I felt it. I had changed. I was ready, and while I don't have the skills to ever become a top player, I do have the minerals to make it to diamond. It might just be the messiest climb you've ever seen. Harvester was our drop, and luckily for us, other teams landed elsewhere, allowing us to deal with the sparse loot distribution here, but I could already see the sky lighting up with gunfire. My teammates, they seemed completely unconcerned, but I was in a new place now, a violent, hungry for RP place, and waiting for dilly-dallying teammates wasn't simpatico with this new state of mind, and my loadout for Mr. Rag Never Learn Tag would be the Volt, but also my lucky charm. The charm! However, my Volt had no attachments on it, so perhaps I'll go back for that extended energy magazine that my Loot Goblin teammate pinged. 2 of them even. But no, I don't need it. I need the Trials of Combat, and Bloodhound had finally woken up.
Scanning the area. Bloody eye.
Wings. Fox 3, sending it home.
Throwing arc stop. I'm taking fire.
Yes.
Stand back.
Wings out.
Stand back. Now the box is fine.
Okay, that's enough courage for now. It was time to reassess this situation.
I've gotcha.
Fuse delivered one of the golden energy mags and Bloodhound spotted a revive before putting a swift end to it. Unfortunately, I still had no eliminations and this wouldn't do. No, this wouldn't do at all. Interrupted by enemies determined to keep me from getting on that scoreboard, but determination is a wonderful thing. Back to the lobby with ya, pal! Movement from the bridge. Gibraltar's team were trying to get behind us, but Fuse stopped Seer in his tracks, and I felt the presence of a lingering ash. No more hesitation! Push W, don't give them an inch!
Fuck the face carrier. Reloading.
Pushing east, looping back across Harvester with a view to checking out activity in Lava Siphon, I discovered two things. One, there is such thing as a free lunch.
In my sights. Opening fire.
And two, the first one, that's actually a complete lie, because when your positioning sucks, nothing is free.
Fox 3, visual clear. Good dome. Taking fire. Reloading. You can burn. How happy? Need some help over here.
Benched from the fight, now is a good time to think about what I'd done. I concluded that I should have attacked faster with more fury and killed those idiots before my squad arrived, but back to the real world, I was downed and my teammates had to clean up my mess. Well, we had a nice little loot box lunch, and once the picnic was over, I found myself at the back of the pack for once, which is when the Fragment crew arrived to say, hello there.
Taking fire.
Strong over there. Lucky me. Dropping the muzzle low. Mind your head. Launching me knuckle cluster. Hurling our star. Launch the frag. Pointing.
Wing.
You've got it.
Fox 3, dumping the pods. 10.
More squads showed up and I readied for a risky ultimate.
We need to leave.
Let's check this pod. Alert 5.
Well, apparently there are no limits when it comes to my stupidity, but we were still alive, even if trapped inside a building surrounded by enemies. For once, I was ready to play this slow and try not to get drilled from the players stomping about on the roof. I had to hope that my team felt the same way, but Bloodhound fancied some fresh air.
Here comes the old knuckle cluster. Taking the moment. Running very low.
Look out, grenade.
Scanning the area.
Flash 1, bogey down.
The dreaded ring relentlessly flooded the zone, but Fuse pulled out the Mastiff as I healed up and clutched. But it turned out we weren't the only ones out for a walk on the surface of the sun.
Reloading. Every scar tells.
Thank you, guys.
All that talk about, oh, I push W, kill those idiots. Utterly deflated. My skin perspired with the blood slowly coming to a boil from inside. And fighting a squad like this, it just wasn't possible. At least not for me. I'm garbage. Actually, hot garbage at this moment. Bloodhound implored me to play for placement. But placement wasn't the same as winning, so I went for the other option. Burn, and then banners.
Rings far, but I've been snagged the banner. Wingman. Got the banner.
Made it to the beacon, but there wasn't much time left.
We're gonna die, man. We're gonna die.
Okay, fair enough, pal. They wouldn't be going back for their boxes anyway. Perhaps we'll find another way. Did you know that the F key and the E key, they're close to each other on the keyboard? You see, I tried to pay respects to the door and...
Fox 3, missile at the rails.
some things never change. But with the ring on my back, I opted to save my ultimate because I had an idea that might just save the game. now I had to convince the vultures that rushing to this resurrection would be the biggest mistake of their lives. I needed to buy time for my teammates or this match was over.
Firing.
I ain't got time to play. 1 minute and the ring's spit distance.
Let's scan this area.
I'm taking fire.
Let's go here. Alert files a little further. Main engine burn. Taking fire. Pushed and go.
4 squads left, the ring closing over Lava City. An interesting place for an endgame.
Juicing me
Yeah.
shields.
Yeah, you can open the door for me this in a second. Thanks. As round 4 squeezed the remaining squads further inwards, we weren't in as good shape as I thought.
Clown spotted over here. Shots fired at me.
1 squad in that building in front. I wanted to test their resolve.
Round 5. Countdown.
Sandwich.
Under fire.
Ouch! I didn't have the shields for this. And then, 1 squad behind. We were sandwiched. The master plan fell apart in an instant and my mini heals just weren't replenishing my health quickly enough. An enemy push right now would be a complete disaster. So of course, they pushed.
Need some help here.
1 minute and the ring's
Bogey here.
Nice.
Bloodhound had finished the job that I could not and did an unnecessary but satisfying finisher on that Loba. I swapped to the gold armor to make more use of the syringes and cells, and now we were in the final battle, the final fight. Could we take home a win after all we'd endured and all we'd suffered? This was the moment, and with round 5 closing, I made a controversial decision to hold on to the charge rifle. We had to survive the gauntlet and make it to the train station to stand a chance of winning here, and their position was not favourable.
Walk here.
We can scan this area. Close door over here.
With unintentional synchronicity, we ascended to meet our foes. The mindset shift was everything here, because it's not as if I suddenly became more accurate or somehow improved on my game knowledge. I simply had to believe that I was better and know that while you cannot win every fight you will ever take, belief is a powerful weapon that you should take with you everywhere, and better than that, Plat 4 became Plat 3. The journey could now continue, except it's almost season 12 and we might not make it, but nobody knows for sure. I'm going to update you on the final progress of the Dash to Diamond along with all the new season footage next Saturday, but I'm also going to try and stream the launch of season 12 with Mad Maggie on Tuesday, live on YouTube on the 8th of February, so come join me for that. Details will be on Twitter, and I'm bored of hearing myself talk now. Goodbye.